These points to the leader of Cheshire East Council, Cllr Michael Jones. Good morning.
Well, what do you say about Radio Stoke again? Giving a political view without consideration. First of all, I'm disappointed in the process going on here, but that's okay. We're used to that with Radio Stoke.
Well, if you don't want to come on, bear with me. If you don't want to come on BBC Radio Stoke, you don't have to.
And let me be very clear. You're having a political show. Let me now be very clear. First and foremost, I have met with the leader of the town council. He's asked me, can I have a room? Can I have an office in the municipal? Can I have an office in the municipal? Cheshire East will back any town council we do anywhere and everywhere. The situation on Christmas lights, they can be ordered today. All they can do is make a phone call to any company, anywhere that provides Christmas lights and get on with it. We don't control them on that. We don't tell them what to do. They have a mandate and they've got the money from the Charter Trustees. They've got the money. Now, let's be very clear. This is a town council which has had 2 clerks since it started. It's had 2 elections already. It isn't working. Now, the fact is, they can say, we want to look at all the freeholds and leaseholds. If you want to do something, get on and do it. Now, I'm not coming on here to debate with Kevin Hickson about what local things need to do in Crewe. If they want help, we're here to help them. We're the authority that will support them. We'll get on with it. But
that goes completely against what Councillor Hickson's just said. He says that Cheshire East is holding this back.
Well, of course he would. When you're inept, you look to blame someone, don't you? Now, the fact of the matter is, we stand ready to help. We're telling them, you need to order your Christmas lights. We've written them saying, let's get on with it, let's work in it. They're saying we want £11,000. They got money from the Charter Trustees and a precept of over £300,000. Let's get on and order them. We'll give them any help they need. And by the way, what you're really saying, Radio Stoke, is this. Should the people of Nantwich, the people of Alsager, the people of Middlewich pay towards the Christmas lights in Crewe when you've got your own precept? No one else does that. Everyone else is ordering them, and there is still time. So I call on the leader of the Labour group, Kevin Hickson, to say right now he'll order Christmas lights and get on with it. So we'll give him the number personally.
Okay, well, you can do that in a moment. First of all, Kevin Hickson, are you inept?
No, it's not us who received damning reports, and we weren't involved in the lime green planning fiasco, so it's a bit rich for Michael Jones to accuse Crewe Town Council of being politically inept. The point is, we didn't have
another political comment.
We didn't.
Well, you've got to throw lime green. Let's talk about what we've done in Crewe.
Well, hang on. No, let me put a point to both of you, please. If we all talk at the same time, people can't hear us. Is it fair to say that in South Cheshire at the moment we've got 2 councils wasting taxpayers' money while they argue over whether a Labour-run council is better than a Conservative one or vice versa? Kevin Hickson.
No,
Okay, Michael Jones?
Nothing to do with politics, this.
Really?
Actually, no.
How does that lead to the point you made when you first came on, then, if it's nothing to do with politics?
Because you're making it that way. You've raised the point of Labour, which I knew you would. This is about delivering for the people of Crewe. Crewe is an important town to Cheshire.
So you'd call the Conservative council inept, would you?
I'm going for... excuse me, I went to Nantwich Town Council and said to them, you need a vision. I want you to have a vision coming forward. I didn't say they were inept, because they're not inept. They're doing a good job in many ways. But I went there and said, despite being a Conservative Town Council, I want a vision to go forward. Now, I'm not here to do anything but deliver for the people of Cheshire East. You know my reputation. You know what I've delivered in Crewe already, and I will deliver more. We need to work together. I met with a Labour councillor yesterday, and we have a unified view, non-political. We're going to try and do an education, a really important issue to go forward. And, Christmas lights are important for morale, and then order them, get on with it, and move forward. And if you haven't got the numbers, we'll do it. We'll give you the numbers.
Okay, well, let's put that to Kevin Hickson. Will you be ordering Christmas lights off the back of what Councillor Jones has said?
Well, Michael wants to come on and make cheap political points. I will deal with the facts. We didn't ask for the £11,000. It was offered by a Cheshire East officer, and I believe that Cheshire East should honour that particular commitment. But in terms of the allotments, again, I made the point, Michael Jones could commit now to transferring the freehold of the allotments, which is the best political advice that we've been given. That's not a party political point at all.
Everybody else,
based on legal advice.
Everywhere else has had them transferred this way, given the fact that what we're doing, and it's an incredibly long lease, by the way, but what we are to do is to make sure they stay forever in the use and ownership of the people. We're not saying you have them for 125 years, which technically is a commitment that you own them. Because if anyone loyal will say to you, a lease above 100 years, that effectively is ownership. What we're doing is to make sure that no one can, and I wouldn't suggest it for Kevin Hickson at all, but in the future, 50 years' time, could sell them for housing without consulting the people. That's our concern. That's why we've chosen this way, with good legal advice. And I think Kevin Hickson should understand that this is not a political point against him or anybody else, but for the people of Cheshire East, having them on a 125-year lease is the right thing, because they hold on what is very important land assets, but people need to do their work on ground which is food generation, excellent value. We're just making sure they stay forever.
Okay, final point then, first of all to Michael Jones from Cheshire East. Will there be Christmas lights in Crewe this year?
It's absolutely up to the town council. I know, please note, you never said you were going to order them. Get them ordered.
Kevin Hickson from Crewe Town Council, will there be Christmas lights in Crewe?
Yes, there will be Christmas lights in Crewe, but we need to work cooperatively with Cheshire East Council on this, and we don't want to engage in the sort of political spat that you've just seen from Michael, really. And it's important that the advice that we were given was correct so that we could plan ahead, and unfortunately we would have already planned ahead on this, but we, as I said, we were promised this commitment to £11,000, which Cheshire East have now reneged on.
Okay, might be better to have that discussion in the corridors of power rather than on BBC Radio Stoke, but thanks for joining us this morning, Councillor Kevin Hickson, who leads Crewe Town Council, and Councillor Michael Jones, who leads Cheshire East Council. 18 minutes past 8.